This boy found a trapped dragon in the wild. He approached it slowly with a dagger. Kill the dragon to gain the approval of his entire clan. He struggled with this. He looked at the Night Fury he had captured. He decided to let him go. He cut the rope with his dagger. The Night Fury rose up and pinned the boy to the rock. He gave him a roar. The boy's legs went weak with fear. A few days ago, he wanted to be the village dragon slayer. Dad was the strongest man in the village, and Gar was weak. He also wanted to impress the whole village, so that he could capture the heart of the goddess. At that moment, a black shadow pierced the sky. It was a mysterious dragon, the Night Fury. No one has ever seen him in person. This was a great opportunity, so Gromit set up his secret weapon. With a scream, a dark figure crashed into the back of the hill, and before he knew it, a fire-breathing dragon was on him. Just as it was about to attack him, Dad came and fought it off, but the stick was burned, which caused the captured dragons to escape, and that made Papa very angry. Even though he said he hit a Night Fury, no one believed him. Back home, Dad told him to take dragon training, and then he just left. The next day, he came back to the place where he let the Night Fury go, but he saw him hitting the rock wall, but he couldn't get out. Grams realized he was missing one of his tail fins. He couldn't maintain his balance in the air, and he fell to the ground. Gromit dropped his pen. This attracted the attention of the Night Fury. He watched him. When Kruger returned, he found the dragon's atlas. There were all kinds of dragons in it, but when it came to Night Fury, there was only one sentence. The Night Fury is extremely dangerous. The boy wanted to take Night Fury with a fish, but Night Fury was suddenly alert. He saw the dagger at his waist. When he threw it away, the Night Fury changed his appearance and opened his bare gums. When Go wondered what was happening, his teeth suddenly popped out. After eating the fish, Night Fury began to close in on the boy and spat out half of the fish's tail to show him to eat it, and Kruger took a bite. Trust was established, and Gram named him Toothless. He watched Gram draw on the floor. He followed him on the floor and drew on the floor. They even surrounded him in a game. This time, he had the courage to do it. He finally gained Toothless' trust, and Grams decided to help him fix his tail. He worked all night at the weapon store. The next day, he brought the finished tail. He came to Mentally and put the tail on him, and Toothless took off when Gramps wasn't looking. He was about to hit a rock, and he opened up the tail, and Tooth Boy took off into the sky, and he threw him off, and he fell into the water. After this test flight, Cutter improved the tail. They would train together whenever they could. After spending time with Tooth Boy, Gromit learned a lot about the weaknesses of the dragons. He used dragon mint to make the fat dragon obedient, and with a tickle, he made the dragon lose his strength. He became the center of attention. The goddess came across Goo in the wild. She decided to follow him. She didn't realize that Gar had a Night Fury. She wanted to tell her people about it. Mentor hung her from a tree. She had to admit defeat, and then Toothpick took them to watch the sunset. They were walking through the Aurora Borealis, and then Toothpick was suddenly alerted. All kinds of dragons flew into a cave with their prey, and then they threw their prey into the valley. A fat little dragon with a small fish, and it was swallowed by the king of the valley, and they were discovered by the king. They fled immediately. They decided to keep the nest a secret, and for his outstanding performance, Kruger was given the chance to slay the dragon himself, a fiery dragon, released from its cage, and Gromit lost his dagger and shield. He decided to change the way his people thought about dragons. Dad's shout startled the dragon. It came after Gromit and attacked, and Mentor sensed something was wrong. He rushed to save the day, and just as Kruger was trapped, Tooth Boy rushed into the training ground and stood in front of Kruger. Night Fury was subdued by the clan. Good tried to get his father to let Tooth Boy go, inadvertently revealing the dragon's nest. Dad immediately told the clan to prepare a ship. He tried to find the location of the dragon's nest by relying on Toothless, and Kruger didn't give up. He released the dragons from the training ground and taught his friends how to tame the dragons. On the other side, the clan arrived at the dragon's nest. The chief gave the order. Live ammunition smashed a huge hole in the mountain. All the dragons fled into the distance. As they celebrated, a roar and a wave of air came out of the cave. The Dragon King stepped out. He destroyed all the ships with a single breath. Toothless was still trapped on the ship. The patriarch finally realized that things were not going well. He decided to lure away the Dragon King alone. The dragon squad came to support him, and Shupo rushed to rescue Montaque. Under the attack of the dragon, King, Toothless fell into the water. Gu went down to save him, but he lost consciousness after a while. Then a hand lifted him out of the water. Then he dove back under the water and released Tooth Boy. Grubby and Toothpick immediately joined the battle. They also made a plan. They decided to make the Dragon King angry and take him to the sky and then attack his wings. The Dragon King began to breathe fire. This also ignites the tail of the Toothpick. He and Toothpick are descending rapidly. The Dragon King is in hot pursuit. Toothless suddenly turns around. He spits at the dragon's mouth, and the dragon senses that it's in trouble. His body is so big that he crashes into the ground and caused an explosion. Gur went down in flames. Toothless spread his wings, and he held him underneath him, but he lost his leg. When he opened the door, he found dragons all over the village. The dragons and the humans lived in harmony, and the goddess had shown him the way. Thanks to the adorable Toothless. Who wouldn't want a Toothless?